Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a question that, well, comes up a lot for businesses, doesn't it? How do you really spark and sustain growth?
Yeah, it's a big one.
And I think the knee-jerk reaction is often, okay, let's just hire a growth marketer. Problem solved, right?
If only were that simple.
Exactly. Our source material for this deep dive, MIA podcast, #04, Building a Growth Team and Executing a Growth Motion, really digs into why that's, well, not the whole story. It's much more nuanced.
Much more.
So our goal today is to get past that quick fix idea. We want to explore why just one hire isn't the magic bullet and clarify what growth actually means today. Then maybe lay out a framework, a practical one, for figuring out your company's growth strategy and, crucially, building the right team for it.
Sounds good. It's about setting the foundation.
Get ready for some potential aha moments that might just reframe how you think about scaling.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, so let's unpack this first point. The source says right off the bat, hiring a growth marketer is, a decent start, but it won't solve everything. Why not? What's the catch?
Well, the core idea, really, is that sustainable growth just isn't a solo mission. It can't be.
Right.
You could bring in the most amazing growth marketer, truly brilliant, but they can't replace a proper, well-structured growth team and a strategic process to go with it.
The whole system, not just a person.
Exactly. Growth needs collaboration. It means integrating product, customer success, data analysis, marketing. They all have to work together. It's more about building a culture, actually, one that's always experimenting, always learning, adapting. Without that bedrock, even the best individual hire is going to hit a wall. They just won't deliver those big, lasting results.
That makes so much sense. It's moving from a role to a whole team effort, a whole mindset.
Yeah.
Does the source mention specific situations where just relying on one growth marketer is a definite no-go?
It implies it, yeah. Basically, once you're past that super early, maybe let's just see what sticks startup phase.
Okay.
That single growth marketer gets swamped fast if they don't have the backup. They can run experiments, sure, but they can't single-handedly build new features or fix underlying tech issues or manage customer onboarding properly.
Right. They need the engineers, the product people.
Exactly. It's like having a great chef, but no kitchen crew, no ingredients even. The bigger the company gets or the more complex the product, the quicker that single hire runs into limitations without a proper growth ecosystem.
Ecosystem. I like that. Okay, so that clarifies things a lot. With that team idea in mind, the source then does something really helpful. It defines growth and breaks down how it differs from related terms like traditional marketing.
Yeah, this is important grounding.
So first, there's traditional marketing. The source says this is mostly top of funnel, right? Awareness, getting people interested.
Pretty much. Think leads, signups, new users coming in the door, using content, maybe paid ads, PVAR.
Got it. Then we have just growth. This sounds broader.
Much broader. It's about optimizing the whole customer journey. Acquisition, sure, but also retention, making people stick around, even getting them to recommend you.
So it integrates marketing, product engineering.
Right, to influence those key metrics. Things like daily active users, DAUs, or people using the product daily.
Yeah.
Customer lifetime value, LTV, how much is a customer worth over time, and annual recurring revenue, ARR, that predictable income.
Okay, and then growth marketing. How does that fit in?
So growth marketing takes traditional marketing ideas, but adds this intense focus on rapid experimentation, testing across channels, testing product features. It's very data-driven.
Aiming for efficient revenue growth.
Exactly. Still looking at DAUs, LTV, but also ROI, return on investment. Is this actually paying off?
And finally, growth hacking. That sounds a bit edgy.
Yeah, it can be. It's really a subset of growth marketing, often emphasizes creative, low-cost, sometimes unconventional tactics to get users and keep them. Think really fast tests, maybe viral loops, that kind of thing. What's really fascinating, I think, is how clearly the source draws these lines. Traditional marketing, often campaign-based, maybe shorter-term focus. Get them in.
Right.
But growth marketing, growth hacking, they all shift towards being more holistic, more long-term, iterative. It demands those cross-functional teams we talked about, constant testing, maybe using SEO effectively so people find you organically. For you, the listener, it means you got to know which hat a strategy or a role is wearing and what metrics really count for that focus. It's not just jargon, It's about aligning your strategy.
That clarity is super helpful, knowing which problem you're solving. But interestingly, the source says before you even think about team structure, there's a prerequisite.
Yes, a big one.
You need to nail down your go-to-market motion, your GTM. This is like your company's core playbook for getting
Yeah.
and keeping customers, right?
Mhm.
Your growth blueprint.
Absolutely. It's fundamental.
And the source outlines three main types: product-led, sales-led, and hybrid. Let's dive into those. First up, product-led GTM. The product itself is the star here.
Totally. In product-led, the product is the main driver of acquisition and even retention. The idea is let users experience the value directly up front.
Like a freemium model or free trial.
Exactly. Think about how you probably try software now. You sign up, play around, see if it works for you. If it clicks, you might upgrade or keep using it.
So marketing's role is?
Marketing focuses on building awareness, educating users maybe through content, driving organic traffic with good SEO, basically getting people to that product experience.
Okay, so if I land on a website, what screams product-led? What are the clues?
Oh, you'll see big sign-up free buttons, a clear focus on free trials, smooth onboarding, lots of self-help stuff like knowledge bases, FAQs, simple, transparent pricing. The source gives great examples: Slack, Dropbox, Canva, Duolingo, Figma, Notion, companies where you likely started using the product long before or maybe without ever talking to a salesperson.
Right, makes sense. Okay, next, sales-led GTM. This feels more old-school relationship-driven.
It is, generally. This approach relies heavily on a direct sales team. They build relationships, really dig into customer needs, guide them through the decision, close the deals.
So they're actively reaching out.
Yeah, actively prospecting, demonstrating value, often customizing solutions. Marketing here plays a crucial support role.
How so?
Generating qualified leads for the sales team, creating sales decks, case studies, building brand credibility so sales can get their foot in the door.
Okay, so the website clues for sales-led would be different. Instead of sign up free.
You'll see contact us or request a demo very prominently. Emphasis on scheduling calls, consultations, lots of case studies showing success with similar companies, white papers for deep dives.
And pricing is probably less transparent.
Often, yeah. You might see get a quote because it depends on the customer's specific needs. Think Salesforce, IBM, AWS, SAP, Adobe, Microsoft Azure, especially for their bigger enterprise offerings.
Got it. And the third one, hybrid GTM. Trying to get the best of both.
Exactly. And it's becoming really common. It combines elements of both product-led and sales-led.
How does that work in practice?
Well, the product is still usually designed to be user-friendly, maybe has a free or low-cost entry point like product-led, but there's also sales support available, especially for bigger deals, more complex setups, or when someone using the free version signals, they might be ready to upgrade to an enterprise plan.
So sales steps in when needed.
Right. And marketing in a hybrid model has a really interesting job. They drive awareness and maybe some self-serve signups, but they also generate leads for sales, educate users through content, and work closely with sales to nurture prospects.
So what are the website signals for hybrid? A mix of clues.
Yeah, you'll often see clear tiers, free plan, paid plans. You'll find a knowledge base for self-service and contact options, maybe live chat with sales reps.
Okay.
Tiered pricing is common, showing the path from free to paid. Examples like HubSpot, Zoom, Intercom, Miro, DocuSign. They balance that product accessibility with sales help really well.
That makes sense.
And, connecting this back, figuring out your GTM motion isn't just like a classification exercise. It's so critical because it informs everything else.
Like what?
How you design the product, how you set up marketing, what kind of sales team you need, if any, and definitely how you build your growth team. It's the absolute blueprint for growth.
The blueprint. Okay. So once that GTM motion is clear, then you start designing the growth team. And the source hammers home.
Yeah.
It needs to be cross-functional.
Absolutely essential, not siloed.
Bringing together skills from product engineering, marketing, sales, data. A real mix.
All focused on that growth objective.
And it also puts a lot of responsibility on founders, on leadership. They have to actually structure this growth org, and this seems key, foster a growth mindset. What does that actually mean, though? It's not just saying we want to grow, is it?
No, it's much deeper. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
The source lays out 4 core tenets of this mindset. First, learning. Not just learning, but constant active learning about your customers, your product, your channels. And crucially, feeding that learning back into the process. It's a loop.
Continuous improvement.
Exactly. Second, rhythm. Establishing a consistent cadence, a tempo for experimenting, analyzing, implementing. This helps fight through failures, build on successes, keep momentum, avoids just chasing random ideas.
Like a heartbeat for growth.
Kind of, yeah. Third, autonomy. Empowering the teams, the individuals, to decide how they'll hit their goals, their OKRs, giving them the freedom to figure out the best path.
Within limits, presumably.
Oh, yeah, within strategic guardrails. It fosters speed and innovation. But the source warns you need clear, shared objectives. Otherwise, autonomy can become chaos.
Right. And fourth,
Accountability. Hand in hand with autonomy. If you have the freedom to make decisions, you're responsible for the outcomes. It builds ownership, makes sure everyone's pulling toward the same goals.
learning, rhythm, autonomy, accountability. Okay, I can see how that creates the right environment. So with that mindset as the foundation, how does the source say you can actually structure the team? Are there different models?
Yeah, it outlines a few common ways. First, there's a cross-functional team structure. This is where your growth team is made up of pods or squads, pulling people from different departments.
So like a growth PM reports to product, a growth marketer reports to marketing, but they work together on growth projects.
Exactly. The big plus is tight integration with the core departments. The potential downside, sometimes conflicting priorities or loyalties.
Okay, what else?
Then there's an independent team structure. Here, growth is its own separate unit, usually led by a VP of growth or similar. They operate pretty autonomously, focusing solely on growth.
Benefit being focus and speed.
Definitely. Big potential for speed. The risk is maybe becoming a silo, disconnected from the rest of the company strategy if you're not careful.
Right, and the last one.
A mixed team structure. This often has a central growth leader, maybe a head of growth, with a core dedicated team. But this team collaborates really closely with other departments, drawing resources and expertise while still owning core growth goals, sort of trying to get the best of both worlds.
Focus and collaboration.
Yeah. And look, the source is clear. This raises a key question for any company. There's no single best structure. It really depends on your GTM motion, your company size, your culture.
I think so.
But that underlying growth mindset, learning, rhythm, autonomy, accountability, that's non-negotiable regardless of the structure you choose. That's paramount.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've kind of gone on a journey, haven't we?
We have.
From debunking the just hire a growth marketer myth to getting clear definitions of growth and then charting a path. Identify your GTM motion first, then build a cross-functional team steeped in that growth mindset.
That's the core sequence.
So hopefully this deep dive gives you a really practical framework. Whether you're scaling a startup or just trying to understand your own company's strategy better, or even just make sense of all the buzzwords, you now have a kind of roadmap. You can probably look at a company's website now and make a decent guess at their GTM motion, right? And the growth needs this collaborative experimental culture.
Absolutely. It demystifies it a bit, hopefully.
Yeah.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with. We've talked a lot about building the right team and finding the right motion, but the next really critical piece is establishing a scalable, predictable, repeatable growth process.
Okay.
Think about how those mindset tenets, learning, rhythm, autonomy, accountability, how do you actually operationalize those? How do you turn them into a system that consistently drives growth? What does that process look like day to day, week to week?
How do you make it systematic?
Exactly. How do you systematize that learning and iteration? Because that process, that engine, is often what separates the companies that just grow sometimes from the ones that really dominate consistently. Something to think about.